What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This is season 5, episode 9, and the title of this episode is Burnt Bridges and Bitter Truths. Let's start off with Colt, Debbie, and Jess. So Jess left Debbie's hotel room and she is upset, okay? Colt says that he's not going to run after her, but give her time to calm down instead. By him not going after Jess, she feels as though he's not man enough. Debbie plays dumb like she didn't know what she was doing. And she also uses that opportunity to whisper in her son's ear. But Colt says that if he wanted Vanessa, he would have stayed in America and he would be in America. So Debbie loves comparing Jess to Larissa and says that Jess's actions scare her. My thing is, everyone has a limit. A button, if pushed, the nicest person will get upset. If an individual is always lying, what do you expect the outcome to be? I just think it's funny how Debbie and Colt love to paint these women as angry and quick-tempered. And to me, a sane person doesn't get angry for no reason at all. The thing is, the more Debbie tries to manipulate and sabotage his relationship with Jess, she reveals in so many words that she really doesn't want her son to be with anyone or have a future relationship ever, because she says, I don't think it's going to be just Vanessa that Jess will have the problem with. I think it's anybody that you have anything to do with in your life. She's getting super snappy, telling him that he needs to figure things out real quick. And because Debbie is really pushing this thing, Colt is aware that his mom is trying to sabotage his relationship. So Debbie tells Colt that he can move his luggage to her room and sleep on the couch. I mean, she's going to the extreme by telling him that she doesn't want Jess to knock him out or hit him over the head while he's sleeping. This woman is crazy, straight up crazy. Colt's like, I don't think Jess would do that, but thank you. And Debbie's face says it all, okay? Colt tells the camera crew that it's obvious that his mother is trying to break up his relationship with Jess, but he loves Jess. He goes on to say that he can't blame Jess's reaction because he lied to her about Vanessa, but he wants to try and fix things. So when he gets up from the couch and tells his mom that he'll be back, Debbie is cursing because her plan didn't work. Comment down below your thoughts on that scene, and let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So it's the next morning and Kalani says Asuelu apologized for his actions the night before. Now, y'all, how about when Asuelu said that he saw a ghost in the Airbnb they rented? He was like, it was a little girl standing in front of the bathroom. He said that he couldn't really sleep and felt scared. Kalani says that she heard someone talking, so she ended up holding her pee because she was too scared to get up and go to the bathroom. I would have got out of there so quick and booked a hotel. No way would I have even stayed there like that night. No way. I would have been so scared. I would have been really scared because Kalani was even saying something like she felt like it was a bad ghost. So the little girl wasn't even at peace. So no. I gotta go. And then you got your babies there. No. So once Colini, which is Kalani's sister, gets to the house, they had to go and meet with Asuelu's family. Now, before I move on, I have to comment on something. They really need to make sure that they are keeping a better eye on their oldest son, Oliver, because he now knows how to open doors. And this is the second time that he's opened a door at one of the Airbnbs that they've stayed at. The first time was when they were in California. He ran after his father into the street almost. And this time he opened it when Colini was at the door. They need to be careful and childproof things because that's just not safe. It really makes me nervous and anxious. So moving on, Asuelu doesn't think that Colini likes him and that Kalani wanted her sister there so that she could have someone on her side. Now, in the next scene, they meet up with Asuelu's family and they greet everyone. And Asuelu's mother greets him with a long mouth-to-mouth kiss. Well, I should say the way the camera was angled, it looked like it was mouth-to-mouth, okay? Everyone was just standing there like, oh, wow. Now, during Kalani and Asuelu's one-on-one time with the camera crew, she brings the kiss up, and Asuelu is so embarrassed that he tries to convince Kalani that his mother kissed his cheek. I think she did get his mouth at first, but then he moved his face, so she ended up kind of kissing the side of his mouth or cheek. Do you all think that she kissed him on the cheek or on his mouth? And do you feel like it was weird the way that she kissed him? Comment below your thoughts. So Asuelu got so upset that he stormed off like a little kid once again. When the camera crew interviews Asuelu's mom and two sisters, one of the sisters says that they don't know how their brother's relationship is with his wife. So they're interested to see if they're good for each other or not. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Larissa. So it was only an Amazon delivery, not the cops. Now, Larissa says that she now feels defeated and just wishes that they could be a family and stay together forever. She heads back to Eric's house and doesn't have a key. She's knocking on the door, no answer. So she goes around to the back, and Eric is in the back brushing his teeth. In the backyard, brushing his teeth, y'all. It was really weird, but we're talking about Eric here. So once she gets in the house, she talks to Eric and more yelling happens. Larissa wants to rehash what was said in the past. And once Eric apologizes, Larissa says that she will never forgive him. So I really felt bad in this scene when Larissa got emotional, because she said that she felt bad as a woman because he talked to many girls about what their intimacy was like. And she feels like if it was bad, that he should have told her so that they could have worked on that together. And I understand when people go through breakups, they may say things out of anger, but that's crossing the line when you bash and talk about personal or intimate details involving your relationship. Somebody like that would be okay with disclosing your private information because they're mad, they can't be trusted. And I wouldn't even want to be with a person like that. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Tanya and Syngin. So Tanya and Syngin are heading to his brother's to go visit him because he was discharged from the hospital. Once these two get in the car, Tanya puts her seatbelt on incorrectly first, let me just say that. And when Syngin starts up the car, he loses a bit of control to where the car kind of jacks forward a little bit. He laughs it off, but Tanya's dramatic tale thinks that he's laughing at her and starts crying. She says that since her car accident, she has had panic attacks and it's been affecting how she sleeps, how safe she feels when others are driving her. I feel like if she's really all that nervous when she gets in a car, the first thing she would have done was put that seatbelt on the right way. I feel like the way that Syngin is staring into space as she talked about those things, I was weak. I think that he's over it, and he even feels like Tanya is over the top and exaggerating. That's what I truly feel. So Tanya tells the camera crew that she's hoping that the trip gives them a fresh restart that they need. I think it's going to do the total opposite because she's in his territory now. And who he really wants to be and the things that he really wants to do, they're going to show forth even more on this trip. Syngin wants to be a free bird. He doesn't want to settle down now that he's gotten a taste of what married life is like with her. So they arrive at Syngin's brother's home, and he shares his story, which makes Syngin emotional. Syngin opens up to his brother in front of Tanya, and he says that being in America has been a crazy experience, that he hasn't connected with friends, and even adding that it's not the perfect life. He's like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, or the grass isn't greener on the other side, however he says it. And the look on Tanya's face. So Tanya says Syngin complaining about America is concerning to her, and that he's kind of been complaining since the day he got there. It's concerning to her because he doesn't find any positives of living there, and that worries her. When he dumped all of that off on his brother and then told him that he's there and he's back, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if when it's time to leave, if Syngin tells Tanya that he's not going back to America. His brother says to the camera crew that he's worried about Syngin's mental and emotional well-being. He has a lot more questions for his brother, but I'm sure he's going to save that for another time, most likely when Tanya is not around. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Andrei and Elizabeth. So Chuck and Charlie are still pressing and fishing for answers about Andrei's past. At this point, they need to really just stop. Like, for real, they need to stop. Since my last recap, I came across mugshots of Elizabeth's brother, and I feel like he is in no position to be pressing someone about their past because he definitely has one too. It's mighty funny to me how people feel so entitled to your business and calling you out, but don't voluntarily give up their dirt. At this point, it's a little too late because she's already married Andrei. I, however, don't like some of the things that I've seen, especially how he gets when he's drinking. That's very concerning to me, but Elizabeth chose him. So to me, it's like, that's on her. So where we last left off is these two grown men, Andrei and Charlie, are pushing each other and cursing each other out back and forth. Andrei's brother tells the camera crew that he thinks that they're fighting due to the influence of alcohol and because they have a lot of similarities. He describes them both as pushy and says that they're searching for something, and I can definitely see that. Andrei keeps telling Elizabeth to tell her family to leave. Andrei is picking a fight with her family, but wants them to foot the bill for this wedding. So I would have left and told him to figure out how he's going to pay for everything since he wants to leave and he's not being very welcoming of his guests in his country. It's also clear that Elizabeth's family doesn't want Elizabeth with him. They don't like him, but they need to back off because they were even kind of getting on my nerves in this episode. And I don't care for Andrei one bit, but her family, they were even annoying me in this scene. Like, just eat, mingle, and leave it alone, because by them prying, it's not going to change anything. Comment down below your thoughts. So let's move on to Angela and Michael. Now, when Michael said to Angela, "Are you going to smoke on our wedding day?" I was weak. Things have been tense between these two since they talked to her doctor about the baby topic. During a boat ride, they discuss it again because Angela's worried that Michael will leave her if she can't have a baby with him. Michael tells her that he will stick by her side if they can't have a baby, but I don't believe him. You can tell in his eyes that he's lying. The reason I say that is because he then says that he's worried about what his mom will think and is saying things like he can't go against his culture. I really think this is about him really wanting kids. Angela could care less, okay? During this scene, it's evident. I mean, it's always been evident, but it's evident again that Angela could care less and doesn't respect Michael's culture, okay? She feels like he should be his own man, that doesn't matter what his mama and them think, you know, that they should just marry each other because that's what they want to do. And I know that he wants to come to America, but Angela is not the woman that he wants to come to America with. Like, she shouldn't be, I should say, the woman that he should come to America with. I seriously think that he would regret it once he got here. And if having a baby is really important to Michael, he shouldn't compromise on that. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Paul and Karine. So it's been a month since Karine has been in America, and she says that she's trying to adjust, but it's been difficult. On top of all of that, Paul still doesn't have a job. The look Paul gave Karine when she told him to go look for a job, loony, okay? He's like loony, like start a fire loony. Paul is loony doon, okay? He claims that he does everything for them, right? But all I've seen him do is beg his mama to buy things for them. I wouldn't be surprised if he's begged the camera crew or even production for help with food or for money, because I'm really trying to figure out how are they getting by with him having no job. Karine tells Paul that she'll give him 2 months to get a job, and if not, she and the baby are going back to Brazil. Karine has some new concerns because of the train. She says that it makes too much noise and she's not sure if Paul knows that she's unhappy. I think the train should be the least of her worries. At least they do have a roof over their head. I think that her best bet would be to start trying to make money for herself and stop depending on Paul. I also feel like she should have never come to America, but instead allowed Paul to go alone to get things together. And once he could prove that he could provide for her and the baby, she then could have come to America. She seemed to be happy with her life in Brazil and also had the support of her family. I mean, the way I see it, she put herself and the baby in a stressful situation because Paul couldn't force her to leave Brazil if she didn't want to. She should have stayed. Paul says that failure is not an option for him. Let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So in this scene, they're at the food truck, right? They stop, him and his family and them and their boys, they stop to get some food. And already Asuelu is doing too much. He tells them that he's going to grab anything and everything for them. So he starts going to the various food trucks and ordering a bunch of food. When he orders, he's like, can I have the best of the best, right? So he wants Kalani to come out. He invites Kalani to come out and to help him, right? And so she's like telling him, I don't want you to, have an attitude with me or be mad at me. Can we just enjoy the trip? And he was saying something along the lines that she was annoying him and, being rude to him or something like that. And Kalani told him that it was freaking weird. This is how she said it, like it was freaking weird seeing him making out with his mom. And I was just rolling. I just thought that was so funny because she ain't even right for that, talking about it was freaking weird seeing you make out with your mom. So they order they order all this food and bring it back inside to his family. His mom tells them that she wants them to come and see her house, right? And Asuelu was like, he would love to come over, and adds that he brought gifts for them. Why did he even say that? Because his sister is like, oh, you did? Did you bring any money for mom? And Asuelu then responds, I guess. So his mom is like, how much money you bring for me? That's how she said it. And Asuelu keeps looking over at Kalani when he knows what he brought. He knows what they discussed. He knows the amount they discussed. So he needs to stand up and be a man. But again, we're talking about Asuelu. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Andrei and Elizabeth. So Andrei is marching back into the restaurant talking about he's going to fight Charlie. But once he gets inside, he calls his own brother to come outside. Okay, so you doing all this talking, but when you go back in, you call your brother to come outside so you could talk to him. You don't go back in to fight the brother like you said you was about to do. So he's telling his brother to tell Chuck and Charlie to go home, and also wants all his friends to leave Chuck and Charlie sitting at the table at this restaurant by themselves. Andrei tells his brother that he's on their side because his brother's trying to diffuse the situation and seems to be more level-headed. Andrei believes that Chuck and Charlie have manipulated his brother. So his brother tells the camera crew that Andrei's more fiery and has anger, but he can't really blame him much because her family is prying too much. They're wanting to know too much about his past. Even though Elizabeth's siding with her family, I feel as though she's full of it. And I'm just seeing right through this crap. She's still full of it. She doesn't want her dad to cut her off. She feels like her best bet is to side with her father. Now, while they're outside, I thought that it was funny when they would show us what was going on inside as well. So they would be showing us Andrei, Elizabeth, his brother, and them talking. And then they would go back in the inside. And when they went back in the inside, Elizabeth's father is at the table giving a long award speech. Like, he's giving these long award speeches. And the way Andrei's friends are looking at them is hilarious. They're like, shut up already. Like, I think they uncomfortable. They're over the drama. It's just hilarious to me. One thing I noticed is that Andrei doesn't know his limit with alcohol because he gets real aggressive, and I didn't like the way that he was getting in Elizabeth's face. He was demanding her to get in the car and saying things like, you're not married to your father, you're my wife. And I don't know, Andrei's just trash to me. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Tanya and Syngin. So Tanya plans to spend time with Syngin's mom and sister, and Syngin has his own set of plans. He plans to go visit his brother again, then later catch up with some of his friends and go drink and hang out. Now, this to me is a disaster waiting to happen. In the next scene, Tanya talks with Syngin's mom and sister, and she tells him that she's looking for balance with Syngin and wants him to be committed. His mother, I think, feels Tanya is controlling and trying to change Syngin, but if a person tells you that they want the same things as you and then changes their mind later, I don't see how you holding them to their words is controlling. I think that she's looking for Syngin to lead, but I think because of his carefree spirit, Syngin just jumped right into something that he wasn't quite ready for. I guess Syngin's little sister has an old soul, because that's how she's coming off to me. She has an old soul, and she knows her brother well, but she really needed to be quiet in this situation. Like, for real, I'm not trying to be mean, but I just feel like, number one, she's not married. She's probably not even in a relationship or mature enough to really comment on this situation. So she should have stayed out of it and let Tanya talk with Syngin's mother. That's just my opinion. Tanya even got emotional during the scene and told them that she worries that they won't find that balance and that he won't want to settle down. All his mom can say is Syngin is a free spirit, and she doesn't think that Tanya realizes all that he's sacrificed. She believes that Tanya is being too demanding. Comment down below your thoughts. Do you feel like Tanya is being too demanding? Do you feel like Syngin has sacrificed a lot to come to America? Let's move on to Angela and Michael. So Angela and Michael are headed to pick out a cake for their wedding, and joining them will be Michael's half sister and aunt. And when they talk about the wedding not being traditional, Angela tells them that she's not going to change her mind. Michael mentions that he would like to have a big wedding and it's expensive to do so. His aunt says that the family will contribute something to ensure the success of the wedding. This makes Angela happy and Michael happy as well. We all know that Angela has no filter or respect, so I wasn't surprised when she said that her plans after the wedding was to have sex. Being that she brought that up, his aunt says yes and have babies, to which Angela laughs it off and tells them about her visit to the doctor and how she doesn't have any eggs, adding that her age could put her at risk if she tried to have a baby. So Michael's aunt and sister are not happy about the new information. His sister is like, if Angela can't carry the baby, then they could just get a surrogate mother to do that for them. But they don't know yet that Angela is not having that. Now, Angela feels like Michael only wants babies to satisfy his family, but no, Michael wants kids because it's important to him as well to be a father. Angela tells his aunt that she's not putting up with side chicks or a second wife and to let Michael be his own man. Michael feels so embarrassed in this moment, and he's really not sure what's going to happen once his mom finds out this information that they possibly won't be able to have children. Comment down below and let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So Asuelu tells his mom that he only has $100 for her, and his sister chimes in saying, 100, that's all? His other sister is deaf, and she even does sign language saying 100 is too small. His sister, during her one-on-one time with the camera crew, says that Asuelu is supposed to stand up and take care of their family. His mom is like, you know, I need money because I need to send money back home to the family and to the church. Asuelu tells her that $100 is all he can afford to give because he has kids and it's very expensive. His mother responds saying, but you know your dad and mom are still alive. Karine tells the camera crew during her one-on-one time that this is probably the most weird dinner that she's ever been a part of, and that she thinks that it's a bunch of crap that his family only talks about money. Kalani then comes in to help her poor husband child and says, well, I don't know what Asuelu told you, but we don't really have anything extra. He works part-time, and if we don't have money to give, then where is it going to come from? His sister then avoids Kalani and then addresses her brother saying that if he wants to be a man, then why doesn't he work full time? She's like, so you can help your little family and back home. His mom starts fussing at him saying, where's his mind at, right? But the part that got me is when she said, Kalani and her parents have a lot of money. They will take care of the kids. So either Asuelu told them that, or they believe that they have a lot of money because they have cameras following them around and they see what they present on social media. Maybe the parties and, the birthday parties and different things like that, that type of lifestyle, they feel as though, they're rolling in money. And regardless to if that's true or not, that's none of their business. You're telling your son to not take care of his first priority so he could take care of you. It's clear and it's so obvious that they're using Asuelu, and they only want a relationship with him because they want to take advantage of him. It's really sad, and you could tell all he wants is their acceptance and their love. They won't let up no matter what's being said. They expect him to put them first, regardless to him having a family. So they want him to send money no matter what, basically. Kalani, I think, is over it at this point and addresses Asuelu's sister by saying, well, do you send money home? Yes, gave her all the attitude. She tells Kalani that it's none of her business. This is what the sister said. She was like, it's none of your business. So that means no, she ain't sending Jack, but she want Asuelu to send them money and do everything. So his mom is like, we were asking my son, so just leave my daughter alone. This is what the mama tells Kalani. They blame Kalani for the reason that Asuelu doesn't send them money back home. Asuelu tells them that he doesn't want money to ruin their relationship. So his mom is like, it's okay. Whatever you want to give me is fine, but I want to go home now. And she slams her hands on the table and proceeds to leave. Asuelu tells the camera crew that Kalani always told him that his family only calls him when they want money, and he now feels that this is true. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Colt and Jess. So Colt goes back to his room hoping Jess will be there, but she's not. He says that he and Vanessa have been intimate before, but right now they're just good friends. He still has no intentions to fix things with Jess. Jess is hurt because Colt lied to her. She even said that he sent her screenshots of him telling Jess to leave him alone and that he didn't want her in his life. So basically what he did was he text messages to himself and changed the name to Vanessa's. So Colt is sneaky, just like a cat, and he's not to be trusted. So Jess got Vanessa's info from Colt's cell phone. So she texts Vanessa, and Vanessa told her that she's still in contact with Colt. She's still talking to him. I wouldn't believe anything that Vanessa says either, because she doesn't want Jess and Colt to be together and encouraged Debbie to break them up when she was on the phone with her. So this sets Jess off, hearing that they still are talking, so much so that she heads back to the room and takes her heels off and throws them at Colt's face. Colt is ducking and dodging these heels, and she's got him backed into a corner, telling him, yelling at him, screaming at him, telling him that he lied and to read the text messages, and his hands are up and he's shriveling up like I can't see him, like he's backed into the corner playing like he's the victim. So Jess packs her things and heads to the elevator, and Colt ends up running after her and begs her for 5 minutes. Colt keeps apologizing and then turns around saying why she's so angry and a violent person. Colt is trying to manipulate her and change her mind about leaving by throwing out the fact that he was going to propose. Jess gets in the taxi and leaves Colt standing outside the hotel alone. He's so flippin' dramatic, talking about he's not good and he feels like he's gonna pass out. Comment down below your thoughts on this episode. I really want to know what you thought on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This was season 5, episode 9. The title is Burnt Bridges and Bitter Truths. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on the next time I make an upload. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.